There we go. Morning. Little too much feedback. There we go. There we go. All right, let's start a little drone. There we go. And hey gang. Let me get something running here and then I'll pay attention to the chat. And there we go. All right. Let's see. And we'll keep those running. All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. That was fun today. All right. Let's see. Oh, I don't have any tea. Forgot to get my tea before I came in. Oh, well. Let's see. We've got, hey, Steve and Tibor, Craig. Semtex Cow. Hey. Is this your first time visiting? I know you through Wabbit. I've, seen you in his comments, and I've looked at your stuff. So welcome. Let's see. Skyer is here. Let's see who else. Will English. Good morning. Let's see. Morning. Oh man. Tibor, you're just expanding your studio left and right. All right, let's see who else. Daniel Albero, hey there. Let's see. Blinking octaves, yep. Right. We like to do transpositions, so we try and sort of hover around the root. DP Modern Muso, good morning. Let's see, you guys are all, I'm just getting caught up in the chat here, saying hello to various folk as they pop in. Did I just jumped ahead, did I see Will English say he needs another 4-track? Can't have too many tape decks, right? Let's see. And who else? I think that's it. Oh, Anna. Hey, Anna. Good morning. Jason, Mr. Jervis, welcome. Hello, Jackson and family. Bubba is asleep in the other room. He got groomed yesterday, and he spent the day at daycare playing with his friends. And for an old dog, it sort of wipes him out. So he got home last night. He crashed. I don't anticipate him being up before 7. So. You got Tom. Nice. Martin Arnold, salutations. Are you new? Welcome. Let's see. Trying to get through, almost at the bottom of the chat. Here we go. Tom says hi. Hi, Tom. Who's a good kitty? Let's see. I think that's it. And Martin is new. Okay. Well, welcome, Martin. Anyway, so if you heard the beginning, the opening piece, we were messing around with space epics today. So we got the big sort of brass section playing around in here. I'm a sucker for French horn or any sort of brass section. This is a synth brass, but samples as well. Love them. The attack on this is a little slower than I like, but that's okay. I didn't have time to tweak it. Am I happy with the Tall Dog conversion kits? Yeah, super happy. Dan is both a friend and a really good engineer. He did a great job on them. So I have 3 of the Korg conversion kits, and they're awesome. Although I don't think they're available anymore. I did a video when I did my very first conversion, just following the instructions. And I totally have like an hour-long video of me doing it step by step. There's a couple gotchas in the manual, not things that are incorrect, but things that if you're not attentive, you can miss. And so I noted those in there. And I think Dan was nice enough. I think he linked my video into the webpage for the product, for the instructions. It was very, I mean, it's not like it's, I'm famous, I'm on a tech support board. And I was like, no. But it's very good quality. Hang on one second. Someone should start a stopwatch when the stream begins, and or I should go back and check and see exactly how far I get into the stream before I have to blow my nose. Jackson's having intensive grooming, or has been having intensive grooming. Yeah, Bubba's got some mats on him because he's so old. He sort of freaks out. He's blind and deaf, right? So he kind of freaks out at the groomers, and they're really gentle with him. But last time he went, they didn't cut his hair. He was just not having it. And so now this time around, he's a little matted. And so I don't know, I might have a shaved dog in a month or so, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, so, Modern Muso, yeah, the conversion kits are great. Are they still available? So, we'll go, hey, Doug Carmichael, we will go through the sounds in a minute here. The subtitle, Blinking Lights Go Brrrr, that's from Kieran. That's a shout out for Kieran yesterday. And Anna is jamming along with rings. That's fine. That's awesome. Share recording on the Discord. Let's see. It's still cold. There's not much I can do about it. It's just like a drip. It's probably seasonal. Let's see. Get caught up here. Anyone else? Hey, Andy's here. Morning, Andy. What are we in today? We're in A minor, I think. I think we're in A minor. All white keys, starting with A. All right, and then morning. All right, let's go through the sounds. What's the BPM? BPM is 88. 88 miles per hour, Marty! Right, a little Back to the Future reference. So what do we have sound-wise? Let's turn these off. We're running this drone. Hasn't changed, same drone as the last week or two. Right, a little pressure sensitive. And that's right out of Omnisphere. Right, so that's the VST. We have 3 VSTs and 5 hardware synths today. So, the lead is new today. This was a pluck early on. I think someone asked what was the pluck. It's just a plain old synth pluck, delay and reverb. Right, so it gives me something to do Berlin school-wise. Right. Right, delay comes in. Bringing the mod wheel up opens the filter slightly. Also detunes it a little bit. But I don't mess with it that much. Most of the performance controls I use, like everybody loves MPE and Poly Aftertouch and ribbon controllers, and those are great. But most of my performance playing on the grid comes from velocity and a little bit of channel pressure. I don't use Poly very much because most of my lines are monophonic anyway. So channel pressure works fine for me. And then a little mod wheel, right? If you look at like Jeff Hopkins, he's on the instrument and he's doing full MPE plus a breath controller. And I'm pretty sure he's got stuff attached to his eyelashes as well that modulate things. Maybe it's tracking, the expression of his, face, smile versus frown, probably changes his EQs. You can do all that. But for me, I just use velocity, at single channel after pressure and mod wheel. And I just use a lot of layers, right? And then I try and make synth sounds that modulate on their own over time in some interesting way. So, let's see. 15 minutes. Nice. All right, let's see. DP Modern Muso says he's been using Ornament and Crime Phaserville Suite. Okay, you're talking about how to keep things in tune. Yeah. I don't mess with tuning anymore. Doug asks, have you seen the BTTF musical? I don't know what that is. So BTTF, I will Google it when we're done. Or I should say I'll Google it when I look at the stream later. I usually after the stream comes back in high def mode and then the chat's available, I will sort of watch it again or at least stream through the chat and look for things that you guys call out and then research them. Let's see. We'll keep going through the sounds here. And it's waiting for the bass. All right. Oh, shut up, you guys. The bass is a running joke, which is fine for the new people. So that's the next one. The next sound is this Rick bass. Right, and that's, I don't want to call it a signature sound because it's not my signature sound, but I use it a lot. I know you can call it a signature sound. But, you know, it's like a piano. Piano's a piano. Someone who's a piano player, they don't go, piano's my signature sound. And I'm a bass player. So that is also a VST. That's Omnisphere with the Trillion expansion. All right, so we use that, and it's got a Moog Taurus underneath it. So you hear that sustain. Right, Taurus. All right. Oh, hey, Jeff. I was just talking about you. That new overlay looks awesome. Did I look up the Jacob Collier VST? I followed the link and it's cool, but I mean, I don't need any new stuff, right? I got another synth coming, right? That's good for now. And as far as libraries, I really don't add. If you look through all my VSTs, they're really old. They're all like 10 years old or older. I just don't buy the new hotness because the old stuff works. So, but it was cool, and thank you for sharing it, Steve. I appreciate it. DP Modern Muso did a whole show with the eigenharp and a one-note flute controller enabled. So for those of you who don't know what an eigenharp is, go Google that. EIGENHARP. Eigenharp is a really cool performant instrument that looks kind of like a bassoon. If you know what a bassoon is, it's like a double reeded instrument with a whole bunch of controls on it, keys that can, I think it's pressure left and right and maybe up and down. I think it's full MPE. I don't know. Talk to DP Modern Muso. They're cool. Eigenharp's been around for a while too. It's all the old interfaces we like on this channel apparently. Let's see. Yeah, it was cool. All right, so let's keep going. So the Op 6, we're all about plucks and brass today. All right, Op 6 is just doing this pluck with a high sustain. Pressure brings in vibrato. Right? Because you can't have space music without a high-pitched vibrato, hard vibrato. You need something to kill the aliens with. Right? And velocity brings in this sort of high harmonics timbre. Right? So soft is that. Right? So it gives us some variation. So when you're doing right, so if you're going to do an 8-bar pattern or something, you can use velocity very easily to make it vary over time. Wave State's just doing this metallic pad, crazy modulating through a bunch of different sample bases. It's sort of like PPG-esque, That's real close to the borderline of too busy for me, timbre wise. So I get burnout. Do you guys get burnout? I get wavetable burnout. Wavetables are super popular right now and everyone loves them, but all the wavetable sound designers, I shouldn't say all, a large number of them, especially people who are new to wavetables, they make every sound have a wavetable with really broad timbre shift. You know, it goes from a sine wave to something that's super metallic. And then they scan that wavetable in their patch very quickly, and then they layer multiple instances of that, right? They'll have 3 wavetable oscillators, all of them with these highly metallic, highly variant tables that are scanning very quickly. And my ear gets like timbre fatigue because I can only have so many instruments doing that on top of each other, and it just turns into cacophony. It sounds cool in isolation, but when you layer them, I get overloaded. So I've only got one instrument that's doing that right now, and that's this this wave state. And that when if you saw the beginning opening piece, I'm only playing like one note at a time. Right. This reminds me of a musical version of the transporter sound from Star Trek. And then they disappear. Right. That's what I think. Anyway. Really quick scan. Hey, Wabbit. Wabbit, if Semtex Cow is here because of you, thanks. You too. Don't blow anything up, okay? And then we've got the Summit. This hasn't changed since yesterday. This is doing this sort of strat, big reverb, big delay, big chorus, sort of kind of strat sound. Good for plucks. And then the Hydrosynth hasn't changed. It's doing a nice little pluck that's suitable for leads as well. Am I using both Summit engines? I am. I think this is a single. Yeah, it's a single. So after January, my goal is to start pushing the envelope on... I'm sorry, terrible pun. Pushing my sound design efforts. And so the Korgs, the Summit, and the Hydrosynth are going to get pushed from a sound design perspective to try and make really, busy is probably the word I don't want to use. I'm going to start designing patches that make a high utilization of all the layers of the synths. Right now I'm using a lot of singles to try and get a thicker sound, if that's a thing, if I should even consider that going in that direction. But I've already got 7 or 8 layers here. But I want to be able to move through a piece with like 3 or 4 synths running at any given time and still have this nice thick sort of texture, and then remove one synth and bring in another one and have their patch design be strong enough and sort of heavy enough to significantly change the mood or the timbre of the overall piece. Just by taking out one instrument and bringing in a different instrument. Right now, I pick patches and the design is pretty much steady for the whole piece. And I want to be able to have a little more variance there. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So, all right. So let's make a little bit more music here. If you like what we did at the beginning, great, because we're going to do more of that. So, because I'm in a mood, I'm in a space epic mood. Let's see. We'll start with these plucks. We'll be a little Berlin schooly. We'll do it. We'll do a 3-bar pattern and a 4-bar pattern. We'll overlay them. Real simple. We'll start with simple stuff. We're going to build up layers, make it complex. All right, we're going to shorten this one. There we go. And I have a cold still. Sorry, they're dripping. All right, let's add a third layer there. There we go. So we'll do this one a bit longer. And we'll put some bass in. So for the newcomers, the way I work is I do live looping. So I've got 8 instruments here. They're all connected to the push. There's synths all around me, right? So the MIDI's going out. I use Ableton to control and record my loops. And then I play with their length and duration and things like that. And then add instrument after instrument. If you have a specific question, tag me or put a couple capital Q's at the beginning, and I will eventually try and scan through the chat and find them. If it's a really important question and I miss it, just ask it again. Hey, Chris Hallow, are you new? Welcome. Let's put a little pluck lead. Let's keep that one a little less busy. We'll do a slow sort of Berlin style lead pluck on that, and we will add way too much delay with too much feedback. And more reverb. add some of this wave state warble. Little transporter noises. That's nice. I know I'm going to want to transpose this around, so having a drone like this is going to make that difficult. Let's put some of that brass horn stuff in. Just some little swells. There we go. Let's bring in a rhythm part. So I do have some drums prepared today. Hold on a sec. It's just a single loop. Don't get excited. I like that. I could groove on that for a bit. Let's try transposing it. So for the newcomers, I build up these live loops, and then I reach over here where I've got programmed something that'll shift them, like force them to play different parts, move around in the key. These are called the jelly beans. Go back to the root. Let me scan through the chat here, looking for questions. Andy and I are going to jam on Saturday morning. Yes. Do I need a Rick Wakeman cape? I usually wear a robe. I thought that might be horning in on Jervis's thing, though, so I put clothes on this morning. I am wearing pants, Wabbit. I'll do some changes while I scan through here. Four more repetitions, or one more repetition it is, 4 more bars. Chris Hallow, that on the left is a push 3, yes. Although any grid controller will work for this. What I'm doing doesn't require a push, and it's not running in standalone mode, it's in controller mode. So if you're thinking about buying a push, to do what I do, you just need a controller version, you don't need a standalone. Jelly beans are a technical term, yep. Seagulls do not taste good, Steve. I have had squab, which is the fancy chef word for eating pigeon. It's squab, and it's terrible. Or at least what I had was terrible. I only tried it once, I will never try it again. Talk about gamey, ugh, nasty. All right, I think I'm good with the chat. Let's change the bass line to be a bit more energetic. Martin, the keyboard interface, this is the push. It's an isomorphic keyboard. Lots of different kinds. Lots of different makers of this. Sort of 8x8 grid or larger. The Linstrument is bigger if you want. Launchpad Pro Mark III is one of these. And think of it as a bass guitar with 8 strings from low to high going this way. And each of these dots is a fret. So it's an 8-string guitar with 8 frets. So let me replace this bass line with something. All right. I'm gonna bring the bass up a little bit. Audrey, if you're here, you might like this. The way the lights work is the blue notes are my root note. So blue is a C. Actually, we're scaled down. Blue or A. All the white pads are things that are in key, and all of the dark pads are things that are outside of the key. Let me record a quick little bass line here. Really simple, right? The montage where the hero is preparing, with his team to make the assault on the, I don't know, evil overlord's base. Pardon me while I vibe here for a minute. We're going to put a supersaw lead on top of this in a minute. All right. Let's see how this sounds. we've got a lead recorded. So now we can change the chords and the lead will follow. Change the horn part around. I think that's the mod wave. All right. We're winding down here in a minute. Move this piece. You pull out patterns here. There we go. Let me start something short here. Let me just get a little Berlin thing running in the background here. Whoops. There we go. Now let's put way too much delay on this. There we go. All right, there's a little bed. Now, bring it all down a little bit more. So what's going on here? Scrolling back, looking for stuff. Okay, here we are. Last tag was, are you and Synchrotron jamming? Yeah, we're going to jam on Saturday. 5 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. And I think Andy will continue his stream after that. So we'll do like an hour, close to an hour. Let's see. No tags. Talked about jelly beans. Wabbit's paying attention. That's all. Hey, Kieran. Let's see. Let's see. All right, we talked about the taste of seagulls. Ugh. Ugh. Blah. Let's see. Hey, Gazinagons. If I missed anyone, Quattro Bagina, hey. If I missed anyone, I didn't call you out. I'm sorry. Let's see. So Martin, everything I'm doing here, Martin Arnold, who says, I have a regular keyboard MIDI controller and I'd like to be able to do this kind of one-man band stuff on the fly. You can still do all this with a keyboard. You just need another control surface of some kind to control recording loops and playing them back, starting and stopping them. So like something like this over here, this is a Launchpad Mini, and it's just a bank of switches. You can use this with, well, so if you're using hardware, you just need like a looper pedal, right? Or one or more. But I'm using Ableton Live, but you can use whatever you want. But you just need a control surface that'll let you record and then play clips and start and stop them. And there's lots of solutions for that. And then you can play on a piano style keyboard instead of using a grid. Like this is like an all-in-one system with, I've got a few extras I've added on over here, but you don't need a grid to do this kind of music. You could do it with a keyboard. It works fine. And I haven't read through all the chats, so maybe someone already told you that, but although, yeah, I'm a synth pusher. Everyone should buy more synths. Yeah, it's always good. Not to the detriment of your finances or your family, but, you know, make sure your kids can go to school, right? But then buy synths. Hey, my case. Let's see. I'm just gonna go through the chat, get caught up here. Synth Finders, Synth Seeker, Synth Finders. Sure, why not? Be ready for the next nasal explosion. It's coming. Let's see. These streams are helping me feel a lot better in the winter. Good, Doug. Nice. Yeah, seasonal holiday depression is tough. Hang in there, buddy. Focus on your music. Keep moving forward. Share your music. Like, you've been sending me little clips, and they're good. So keep doing that. Consider making a Bandcamp page, right? Doesn't cost anything. And, you know, you can use an AI tool to generate like a picture for each piece of music and put it out there and start building a body of work. Something, if that interests you, that's what I do. It's all good. Hey, CSM Tex Cow. Have a good time adulting. I have to go to work pretty soon myself. Let's see. Ciao for now, cow. Nice. Martin. Good. Okay, I hope that explanation helped. Anna says, I need to get me a synth. Yes, Anna, you need more synths. You're woefully lacking. You have, what is it, synth anemia. Yeah, you can use an iPad app for looping. So talk to the Crazy Wabbit. Go to the Crazy Wabbit's channel. He uses lots of different setups, but the iPad does feature prominently in what he does sometimes. Good, Doug. All right, man. Keep rolling. Martin says, I've considered using AI for art, but that's not a popular option in discussion forums I found. Well, yeah, I mean, like a lot of creatives. So the main problem I see personally, something that I get hung up on with the AI is that like they have to feed it a bunch of stuff to get it, to have some sort of model that it can create new things on. It's arguable whether it's creating new things or just remixing other things. I don't know. It depends on the AI you're using. And so I did a whole video on like, oh my God, AI is going to eat the creative's lunch. And definitely AI is going to change the fiscal model, right? The way we make money being creative people, art, music, whatever. AI is definitely going to impact that industry, and it's going to happen. It is happening. All right. And so you can freak out about it and be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Or you could do two things. You could change your model for income. That's one thing you should do anyway. Everyone should diversify. But you can also learn to use the tools. So like AI music making tools. If someone told me, hey, we just snarfed all your music off of SoundCloud and we fed it into an AI thing. Do you feel that AI is not going to make music that's exactly like mine? I don't know. I mean, there's a spark that a human puts into it. And, if your music sounds exactly like music made by an AI, examine your music. Like, what about it has your spark, right? And does the AI music have that spark? I bet it doesn't, right? And then learn to use the tools, right? There's lots of AI-assisted visual art things. Like, so if you look at the thumbnails for my videos, they're essentially Mid-Journey based pieces of art with a white rabbit in it somewhere, right? But I take that and I manipulate it and I feed it back in and it generates a little bit more in the direction I want to go. And then I manipulate it. I open it up in like Photoshop. Well, not Photoshop, Pixelmator. So it's cheap Photoshop. And I iterate on the art. And then I do my overlays of text and things like that. So I'm using the AI tool to help me achieve the artistic goal that I'm trying to do. I haven't found an AI tool, an AI assist tool for music, but I'm looking at them. I haven't found one that I like. And does that mean I'm going to stop making my own music and just let the AI do it all? Some people are going to do that, right? There's this model that says, especially on the internet, that says content, put out stuff. You got to put out a single every week, right? Or you got to put out an album every month or something like that. And so there's this push that people get locked into that says you're just a content generator machine. And if you want to be famous, you want to blow up, you got to be on this schedule of delivering content. And that drives people to build workflows and machinery using AI that allow them to just crank stuff out with, a low effort, right? Or at least an effort that is that makes sense financially, right? It's like, I only have 2 hours per day, in the evenings after my day job to make whatever my art is. If I can get an AI tool that does it for me and I just push a button and it cranks out a new one and then I publish that to feed the machine, a lot of people do that. I choose not to do that, okay? But it's gonna happen. So don't lament that it's like, oh my God, they'll never notice me in this sea of machine-generated content. I don't want to say garbage, right? Because some of it's quite good, quite refined. I won't say that there's a soul in there, but I mean, if you listen to EDM playlist, you can't always tell what's AI generated and what's not. I see the chat scrolling. I'll follow it in a second. I'm on my soapbox. Anyway, be aware of the AI tools. Consider trying them and understanding, do they assist me or do they replace me? And do they have the spark? Is the stuff they make me? Does it have my spark in it? Right? Because that's the value, at least from my perspective. again, the spark I put into my music is not necessarily super popular and fiscal. I'm no Taylor Swift for sure. I'm no, if you scope it down to the niche I work in, I'm not a Berlin School or prog rock, hero, certainly. And so, but my goal isn't to become famous as that, right? And part of that's because I'm older. Task Boy and I were talking about this yesterday at breakfast. We're older, and we have a career and we have a family. So our scope of goals is already partially achieved, right? When you're 20 and you're just starting out, you look at it and you're like, I do want that. I want fame, and I want people screaming at me, and I want, gender appropriate people throwing their underwear at me on stage. All of these things, right? I want money. And when you're young, that's what you should achieve. But eventually you get older and you realize that as you progress, the number of people who achieve it's a funnel. It's a sieve. It gets smaller and smaller, right? And so you find other things that bring you joy in life. So from the perspective of where I'm at, right? Old guy, career and family, playing with my toys, AI is fine. I have no issues with it. And for the artists who are losing their income stream, I feel for you. Technological changes in technology drive changes in morality as well, right? It's always happened, right? No one would, 40 years ago, no one would ever dream of sending a naked picture of themselves through the mail to a stranger to solicit, anonymous sex. But that's a normal thing now. It's a little weird from my perspective, right? But for someone my son's age, he's like, it's less weird for him, right? Maybe not fully acceptable yet, but those phones are technology's changing, driving change in morality. And it's inevitable. It's neither good nor bad, right? We have to steer it to a good or bad place. Wow, I'm really ranting a lot. I'm gonna bring it down. Anyway, let me look at the chat here. Sorry, there's some seeds of discussion that you can either berate me or celebrate each other. Let's see. Let's see. I was on a soapbox for a while. Let's see. New people who probably popped in. I don't see any tags for questions. I don't see any giant capital Qs. So if you have a question for me, tag me or put a Q there at the beginning of the line, and then I'll notice it. Trying to get through the chat. I'm near the bottom. Let's see. Steve, I am no hero. I thank you for saying that, but be your own. DP Modern Music says, I have been using Logic Pro and put in my chord progressions, and AI comes up with the bass line. Great. So that's a tool. It's an assist, AI assist. That's fine. You keep doing that, eventually you make it to a point where you can predict what the AI is going to generate, and then you can do it and see if that brings you joy, right? And if it does, maybe you won't use that AI tool. Or maybe you'll teach people, you'll advocate. Here's a way to make bass lines that I find convenient. Nothing wrong with that. But I am your father, Rabbit. I guess I am. Let's see. I saw the word Git. Someone said, and it wasn't the source control. Yeah, Andy, this old Git won't be using AI for music. That's fine, Andy. And Andy, I don't think Andy uses AI for like album art either. He does it himself. And that's admirable. Congratulations. Things out of context, right? I was saying things, talking about finances and income streams, and Wabbit throws out fiscal sex. And I'm like, all right. I'm out of context for that. Time for me to get off my tissue box? Yes, Wabbit. Here's my tissue box. And Steve, whatever the timer says now, it's time, right? All right. Let me finish the chat. I'll do one more piece of music, and then we will call it a day. And I got to go to work. I have to go to the office today. Has anyone actually seen a soapbox? Yes, I have. We have some antique boxes in our house that are like mementos of our grandparents. Sarah and I both have some. We have one for a roast beef box. Anyway, it was a long story there. Let's see. Hey, Wookie. How you feeling? Let's see. Gazinagons ask, is that diatonic transposer a standard feature or a plug-in thing? The transposition that's diatonic is built into Ableton Live. It's a scale-aware pitch device that will shift them. There's one on every track. Then over on the Launchpad Mini over here, these jelly bean-looking things, that's me mapping buttons to control the device. So it's half and half. The capability is built into Ableton and every other DAW for the most part, I'm pretty sure. But my tool for using it is something I made. If you go to, if you want a layout like this, if you've got a Launchpad Mini, the SysX for this custom layout is available in one of the earlier streams. I think stream number 2 or stream number 1 in the description. Actually, if you go to lukestark.com/launchpad, you can download the SysX from there, right? But it may not, you still have to do the mapping. So all that does is give you the layout. And it's different than, I've been modifying it over time, but the layout I was using in the earlier streams is available if you want to download it. Am I overdue, Steve? For the nose thing? Nice. Snot rag time. Put that on a shirt. Here at Synth Seeker, snot rag time. All right. I think I'm at the bottom of the chat. DP Modern Musa says, Ableton is the best DAW for MIDI mapping. I try not to say that anything is the best for anything as far as music technology is concerned, but that is, you could say how you feel. That's totally fine. You only have Ableton Lite, Gazinagons. Hey, do the research and drop a comment and let me know, because I can't see it. So at Ableton, if you have a registered Ableton Live Lite license, you can go to their store and the Ableton Intro and Standard and Suite, they will be discounted slightly. I think Intro, and I'm curious what the Intro version costs to upgrade from Lite, because it's $100 out of the gate. And a few people have been asking, or we've been discussing, it's like, well, how much is the upgrade? And I don't know. And I'm curious. But I can't see it. So you get a nice discount. I'm curious if it's like, is it 50%? Can you get like the upgrade for $50 instead of $100? I don't know. Cubase is awesome. Back in the day, I remember Cubase. Atari ST and Cubase. All right, let me build this music up here. Yours came with the Force. Hey, what is that thing? Akai yesterday, they announced now you can run native instruments plugins on the Akai stuff. So that might be awesome for you. Hope that works on the Force. All right, so this is a very Berlin schooly bed thing. In the classic sense of a very small. Let's make these phase. Let's put some more plucks on them. gonna sort of randomize the velocity on this thread here. There we go. We're going to use the brass as a bass thing. Whoops. Nope, want an octave lower than that. Now, let's see what happens when we transpose this. That needs to come up an octave. Doing a little mixing on the fly here while we do transpositions. Is the percussion included in the push 3 tracks? Steve, I'm not sure what you mean. Is it included in the push 3 tracks? It is a 9th track that's off of the push. So yeah, yes, it's included. So you can navigate through all the tracks in the set. So if I move over to the 8th one, if I go over again, there's one rhythm track. Here's the one that's actually playing and clipping, I just noticed. Whoops. So yeah, you can have infinite tracks in Ableton, and the push can pan and scan across all of them. Let's see. Any other questions here? Yeah, good jelly beans. We like the transposition. All right, let's do a run from the root. I think that's it, chat. Caught up. Bringing parts out. Stopping clips. There we go. And we're out. So let's see what time it is. 6:21. Running for an hour and 15-ish. So that was pretty good for Thursday. So great. I'm glad you guys liked it. Today was a fun day. Not too many flubs. I was on my soapbox for a little too long, maybe. And I know like AI is a really like enraging topic for people. And I sympathize with everybody who's pissed. But we got to find a way through because it's not going away. So anyway. All right. Well, I will be back tomorrow at 5 a.m. US Eastern. And what's this? Day 8? This is the 8th day? 9th day? 9 days remaining? So it's the 22nd day of January. There are 9 days remaining if you count today. So rolling on, approaching the end. And let's see. I've got a video coming out on maybe this weekend. I might be motivated to do it this weekend. It might be February 1st. I've got a video coming out, and I already let the Discord citizens know. And I'll just let you guys know. There just no changes, just I turned on monetization on all the videos. And I've got a bunch of old videos that say I don't monetize. Well, I turned on monetization to offset the cost of some of the Discord stuff. Does that mean anything? No, we're not going to change. A lot of people who have monetized their channels, it drives their content to be more like, I want more viewers, I want more subs, and then that makes them change their content because, you know, Like if I did synth reviews, I would have way more subs, but I don't care. And I don't like doing synth reviews. So I turned on monetization because it's a nice little steady trickle because people like the Berlin School videos and they learn from them. And so that generates like $1 a day. And so that's enough to offset the cost of the Discord expenses. So by the way, monetization is on. I need to do a video that says it's on now, so I'm not completely hypocritical, right? Because if you watch an old video, I can, 5 years ago, I was a little preachy about it. But whatever, things change. So heads up, let you know as the stream watchers in advance. So now you're aware of it. Anyway. Hey, James. James says, I wonder about transposing like this with the Launchpad standalone. I bet it's fairly simple, but it's not quite mappable in the same way. So if you've got a Launchpad Pro instead of a push and you're playing on it, you can flip over to user mode and you can define a user mode that has something like the Jelly Beans on it. And then you can do transposing in user mode and then flip back to note mode and play some more. So you can do it with one single Launchpad. So I wouldn't say it's simple. It's complicated, but it's doable. So anyway, Doug, were you assigned a partner manager? Of course not. I'm a very small channel, so I didn't even know that was a thing. Anyway, bye guys. I am going to turn it all off and I will talk to you all later. All right. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. It's coming up and I will talk to you later. See ya.